Given your position, and being an entrepreneur, and a lot of people tuning in, also being creative people, want to start their own companies, do you see a lot of new ways of entering the shipping market, or are, the established ecosystem cemented? So you should just get in the company and in the structure, or do you see, different angles to tackle either finance, ship ownership, etc.? Or do you feel it's quite cemented, the industry, and that's how it's going to be?
No, I think the industry is incredibly fragmented, and there is always creative destruction, and there's always ways to you will see people change roles. You see brokers leave shops. You will see desks all of a sudden spin up their own ship operating companies. So I think there's always new seats being opened up, and I don't think there's necessarily dominant sort of shops that will continue forever. That said, I think when you're getting started in the industry, having a link or an association with an established shipping company, brokerage company, bank, is helpful in that it sort of gives you a little bit of a boost up onto the stage, so that you can say, no, I'm with this group. And then over time, what I've found is that folks that have been in the industry, all of a sudden, where their personal reputations stick with them after their initial jobs, and then those personal reputations sort of will transcend necessarily the firm that they are at now.
Yeah, that's a very good point. So just a couple of quick fire questions. Favorite source for information, newspapers, influencers, etc. Where do you source, good stories? Do you have any specific that you always check out, whether that's Substack or newspapers, etc.?
Obviously, I'm a fan of the Vonheim podcast, but I think there's a growing sort of diverse source of information that's out there. Obviously, Tradewinds is sort of the stalwart sort of industry press, but I think you're seeing more and more folks disseminating information on the industry, either directly, as I'm kind of doing from time to time, or new sort of information outlets being set up. Twitter has become a very interesting sort of shipping subculture all of a sudden. And then obviously there are, I think shipbroker reports. I think our folks those are starting to get a little bit higher quality, I guess, and starting to have more analytical perspectives. While I think in the past they might have just been, this is what this TC rate is for this week, and that would be it. So I think there is a democratization of information in the shipping space, which means checking a lot of different sources, and then sort of trying to synthesize an opinion or view from there.
Yeah. And I would also, like to highlight, the works of G Captain, John, Sal Mercogliano. I mean, they're also doing, from my perspective, very impressive work. But it's, yeah, maybe in a different category, but still maritime at least.
No, it's very much maritime, and I think John has built a very interesting business that caters to I think the U.S. Merchant marine perspective very well. And Sal's YouTube channel has just I think is an incredible achievement that I still marvel at every time I see how many people have watched his videos. But it's definitely the shipping is becoming relevant and mainstream and attracting attention in a way, because of all of the noise and the chaos we described this way of port fees are on, port fees are off, tariffs are on. All of a sudden, shipping is getting more into the mainstream consciousness. Certainly here in the U.S., obviously it's, I think, very, very prominent in Norway, but it's in the U.S. It's becoming more relevant. Which there's the hope is that attention, even amidst all the noise, will result in greater priority being placed on the industry than has been the case. But no, there's no shortage of places to turn for information, and I think the fact that there are more and more free sources available is actually making it more accessible. obviously G Captain, Sal's YouTube show. As far as I know, there's the Vonheim podcast is not charging a subscription fee, but like it is educating, it's educating the public in a wider way. Where if it was all behind a paywall, no one, it wouldn't resonate with people the day it does now. If they want to double click, if they want to learn more, there are sources out there where you can educate yourself, and without going to Bayes Business School or growing up in a shipping family, you can start to get a sense of the industry and how it works on the inside.